everything.
Yeah.
Let some people hop on real quick. Let some people hop on before we get started.
Yeah.
Oh man, is it officially it's officially Chiefs week? Oh my god, here we go.
Here we
Cooner, I cannot take another loss to the Chiefs. I don't know about you, man.
No, man.
It's time, man. That's annual tradition.
It's got to end this week, man. It's got to end this week. This is it. This is going to be the one.
It better end this week, man. I mean, since Kyle Shanahan became the coach of the 49ers in 2017, the 49ers are 0-4 against the Chiefs. 2 regular season losses, 2 losses in the Super Bowl. In those regular season meetings, the first one in 2018, almost 4 years ago now, Jimmy G tore his ACL in that game, ended up missing the rest of the season, which obviously didn't end up being so bad because we got Nick Bosa out of it. And then in 2022, that was when CMC made his debut. The Niners had just acquired Christian McCaffrey from the Panthers. He made his debut that game. Didn't play like a whole lot, you know. Chiefs went on to win that game handily. Purdy actually played in that game, which is funny too. A lot of people probably don't remember. I was looking at the box score, like, oh shit, Purdy got in this game.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, it's been a long time coming. We know the history between the Niners and the Chiefs the last handful of years, and this is a really big game. I'd say definitely more so for the Niners and the Chiefs, obviously, because the Niners are 3-3, the Chiefs are 5-0. So we got a lot to get into. But let's start with this. Today we're bringing in a special guest, a guy who is a brother to me and to you.
Yeah.
Harpreet, we love you, man. We love you to death, but I'm gonna tell you this: we hate the Chiefs. We hate Chiefs fans. We hate Patrick Mahomes. We hate
We hate the refs.
We hate Travis Kelce. I don't want to hear Taylor. I don't want to see Taylor Swift on the screen one time on Sunday. Okay, so. But this week, we're bringing you on because you're a diehard Chiefs fan. You went to school out in Kansas City, so it's valid. You're not a bandwagon fan or anything. We'll give you your respect there for sure.
Yeah.
But thank you for coming on the show, man.
Hey, thanks, G. It's been it's been fun. It's been a roller coaster ride for Chiefs fan.
No, it's not. Ain't no roller coaster ride for you guys, bro. Because you guys are always at the top of the roller coaster.
I wanted to say that.
You guys are always at the top. All right.
I was with them when they were 4-12, so I know
you saw the dog days.
The fans were wearing bags on their head, so I was with them.
But man, look, like I said, we got a lot to talk about with this team. Like I said, a big game. Obviously, the Niners coming in 3-3. Chiefs are 5-0. They're coming off a bye week, and the Niners had the Thursday night game last week, so they're coming in a little bit of extra rest too. They got 10 days of rest coming in. We'll start with this quick little injury update on the 49ers front. So right now, Jordan Mason's questionable with the shoulder. Malik Mustafa questionable with the knee. Jordan Elliott questionable with the knee. Charvarius Ward questionable with the knee. Our kicker Matthew Wright, who came in last week and knocked down 3 field goals, trying to make a tough play and tackled somebody on a kick return, hurt his shoulder. He's questionable. The Niners had to sign a backup kicker today. Just in case, or this week, Anders Carlson, just as a safety measure. I think Wright's going to be able to go. Hopefully that's the case. And then the Niners also signed Adrian Amos, veteran safety, to their practice squad just in case Malik Mustafa can't go. Ricky Pearsall, his practice window has been open. There's a very good chance that we might see him make his debut on Sunday against the Chiefs, which would be incredible given everything he's gone through, obviously, in the offseason, and just a lot of hype coming around Ricky Pearsall, into the season. But let's start with this, man. It's as much as we don't want to do this as 49er fans, we got to talk about the Super Bowl this year. It was a tough game. I think I can speak for all 49er fans when I say this. I'll be randomly laying in bed, driving somewhere, at the gym in between a set, and I'll just start thinking about the Super Bowl. It just randomly hits you. And, you think about the lead in the fourth quarter, you think about the turnovers, whether it's a CMC fumble, the muffed punt, and some of the play calls, obviously, like here and there, and it won't sit right with me until the Niners get over that hump. So, Cooner, we've talked about this a million times, man, but what's your I guess your worst memory from that game?
Well, I mean, I could probably spend an hour talking about my worst memories from that game, but obviously the ones that stand out the most to me. I mean, CMC fumbling, something he hadn't done pretty much all season. He only had fumbled once the entire regular season. So when we got off to a bad start with that, I already knew that we were going to be in for a ride for sure. And the fact that we had basically dominated the first half of that game defensively, and we're only up one score, told you that we were going to be in trouble for sure, and it was going to be a ride up until the fourth quarter. And I mean, shit, man, who would have known that this game would have gone into overtime and our coach wouldn't have known, the overtime rules and the playoffs don't apply like they do in the regular season. It's a completely different.
Nobody knew from your team, I think.
Nobody knew, and that's the thing, right? Is that I think obviously the CMC fumble definitely stands out the most. I think for the most part, the Niners did what they could for 4 quarters, but Kansas City's defense is so relentless, so they just never really let them go, right? But that overtime definitely was a killer. I mean, when Shanahan took the ball first, I was like, "What are you doing, man? Like, give that shit to them first, and you get the ball back, right?" Because they put the rules up on the screen before they even elected to receive. So I think that's one of the biggest blunders, in Kyle Shanahan's era for sure, and in 49ers era for sure, in these last 7 years that we've had Kyle Shanahan. So I think that's the one that sticks out the most to me is the overtime rules, not knowing that. And obviously, the rest is history. We already knew that, if Patrick Mahomes is going to get the ball last, he was going to score for sure, no matter what you do. So, give the Chiefs credit for sure. But, those are some of the mistakes that we made that they capitalized on.
Harpreet, from a Chiefs fan's perspective, what was your outlook when you were going into that fourth quarter? I think the Niners were up by, what was it, 10 or 13? Like, was there part of you that was like, man, I don't know if this is going to happen? Or were you like 100% like, no, we're coming back and winning this?
Never a doubt, man. Never a doubt. I was watching the sideline when they were showing the preview and all that. They were confident. Nobody was losing hope. They knew Patrick Mahomes there, Kelsey's there, Andy Reid dialing up the plays. Steve Spagnuolo, he's going to dial up blitz and all that. So Chris Jones, just ending the drives. We knew what's coming. So it was just a matter of keeping nerves. And Patrick Mahomes, he's like Jordan, man. I mean, as much as I love LeBron, but Mahomes was Jordan at that time. So he wasn't gonna lose. That's all. But I think you guys didn't use CMC enough, honestly. That's there's 3 players that I fear in 49ers: CMC, Fred Warner, and Greenlaw. So they didn't use CMC. Greenlaw went out, so that was a big factor, honestly.
Yeah.
And
we could talk about the what ifs, right? Like if Greenlaw doesn't get hurt, obviously it's just hypothetical, so it doesn't really matter now. CMC definitely they could have gave him more touches in the second half of that game, but a big part of it was like the Niners getting into some of these, there was like holding call here and there, just negative plays, and then next thing you know, it's 2nd and 16, 3rd and 13. It's like on those plays you can't really run the ball, right? Because you got to move it, and so they unfortunately, like the game script, they had to go air the ball out like a little bit, and the Chiefs secondary was elite last year, between McDuffie and blanking on the other guy's name who went to the Titans, the other cornerback.
Oh, Snead.
With Jerry Snead.
He was locking up players all last year.
Yeah. Sure. But let's talk about that. So how would you compare last year's Chiefs team to this year's team? Because last year's team obviously was, while they ended up being the best team in the NFL, they had their issues during the regular season. They led the league in drop passes, right? We know about Kadarius Toney and some of the other guys dealing with some drops. Kelsey had some ups and downs too here and there. The defense was always consistent, but this year, you lose Isaiah Pacheco first for 6 to 8 weeks. Rashee Rice obviously out now for the whole season, but the defense has still been good. Patrick Mahomes has looked okay, not like the Mahomes we're used to seeing. Thing about the Chiefs is no matter what, they know how to close out games, and that's why they're 5-0 right now. But from these first 5 games, what have been your main takeaways from this Chiefs team?
Well, they have closer Chris Jones. He's been closing out games honestly this year. It's the defense that's winning us the games. We have better team this year than we had last year, but it's just the injuries that's been killing us. But our defense been carrying us because Mahomes been playing really. I would say he's playing crappy. I think he's. I was watching it somewhere. He's compared to Justin Fields, so his stats are similar to Justin Fields. So the fact that we are 5-0, that's props to our defense. And Chris Jones again, the Steve. Enough. He's been great. He's definitely a head coach material. Hopefully, he goes somewhere.
If he wants to come over to the Niners, I mean, we'll take him with open
No.
arms. You know what I mean?
No.
I think he would. I think he would thrive over here with Fred Warner, Nick Bosa, and company. So
right.
Spags, come on over.
Well, I think you guys gonna hire Robert Saleh back. I think.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
A very good point by Tristan here. Patrick Mahomes is not a good fantasy quarterback. He is very average.
He's been bad. He's been really bad.
I made that mistake 2 years ago when I drafted him, and he wasn't good. He started out good, but not in the end.
Wait, you know when he was good? When he had Tyreek Hill back there. That's when he was good.
Yeah. Well, Tyreek's Tyreek, man.
All right, well, let's talk about this now. All right. How badly do the 49ers need this win? I talked about them being 3-3, you know, a couple of bad losses, obviously, to the Rams and to the Cardinals, division games that they had leads in the fourth quarter and ended up blowing. You know, it's funny that the Niners come into this game as a 1.5 point favorite. I think that's really surprising. I know they're playing at home, but when the Chiefs are 5-0, defending champs, got Mahomes on the other side, I don't know why the Niners are favored in this game. And it's the first time the Chiefs come in to a game as an underdog this season. Patrick Mahomes, 6 straight wins as an underdog. You know, so we'll see if he's going to keep that streak going or do the Niners break it. But I think this game is a very big mental hurdle for the 49ers because, again, the history of these two teams, right, especially this very recently with the Super Bowl. So they have to be coming into this game thinking like they need to get this win so they know that if they meet this team again in the Super Bowl, should they make it there, that they can beat them, right? Because they were up in the Super Bowl, lost that game. But if you come out and you win this game against the Chiefs, it lets you know that, hey, not only are we a contender, but we can beat this team. But if you lose again, it's going to be tough, right? Fred Warner, he was on KNBR today, and here's what he had to say about this matchup.
I think it's important. This is an important game for us. One, because of where we're at in the season. You know, we haven't had the start that we would have wanted, but we got that win on Thursday night and put ourselves in position to do everything we want to do going forward. And we got to prove to ourselves that we can win, against great football teams in this league. I mean, the Chiefs are undefeated this year and still at the top of their game. And like you mentioned, they still got 15 back there, and I have yet to beat them. You know, I think I played against them maybe 4 times now and have yet to beat them. So I think it's important. It's an important game for us to try to get over that hump and get this win.
Aman, what's your reaction to hearing Fred Warner say that?
It's the same thing that we've been talking about for so many months now and leading up to this game, right? Is that mental hurdle, that mental block that the Niners have when it comes to the Chiefs. You know, they scheme up the Niners so well. And it just feels like the defense is Kyle Shanahan's kryptonite. It's the only team that I can safely say that we never have an advantage against. And it hasn't shown in the last 4 matchups over the last 5 years. So I definitely am sympathetic with Fred in the sense that, you know, this is going to be his 5th time playing the Chiefs and he hasn't beaten them once. But, you know, the team has to rally itself right now. You know, this is a pretty key stretch where, you know, they can pick up potentially 2 wins. Obviously, we saw what happened with Dallas last week and how they got obliterated, but they're going to be coming off a bye week. So they'll be a little bit rejuvenated. The Chiefs, I mean, you already know that Andy Reid's record off a bye is insane. And
12-4, including the playoffs.
Exactly. Yeah. So you have a machine like Patrick Mahomes that can go off at any point. The Niners defense is susceptible to giving up big plays this year. That's something that we've seen. The back end help hasn't been there so far, and we're already down.
Yeah, you guys not playing well between 20s. So
and that's the thing that's killed us. And we're not scoring when we're supposed to be scoring. Niners are number 1 in the league in getting into the red zone, but they're 25th in scoring in the red zone. touchdowns, that is. So,
yeah, field goals are not going to cut it against the Chiefs. If you
Right
get down
there
to the
with you.
red zone, you got to capitalize.
100%. I think this is a week where you see two teams that can be powerhouse offenses, but they both suck in scoring in the red zone right now. The Chiefs are equally as bad as the Niners are. I think they're even worse than the Niners are because the Niners got a little bit better after that game against Seattle. So it's going to be interesting. I think this is going to be a battle in the trenches for sure. It always is with the Kansas City Chiefs. Whoever wins that battle is going to win this game. And the last 4 times has been the Chiefs. They've always won the trenches game. They've won the run game. They won stopping the run. So it's going to be really interesting to see how Kyle Shanahan comes out this week and what kind of offensive game plan does he have, for Brock Purdy and these boys. I'm confident that the defense can hold their own for sure. If they can hold Kansas City under 24 points in this game, I think that's a win. But the offense has to put up 30, and that's really tough. That's something they've never done against the Kansas City Chiefs in the Kyle Shanahan era.
Yeah, which, now let's get into this. What are the keys for the Niners win, right? It's going to be, I think some of the key things for this team is obviously Mahomes. You're not going to stop Mahomes. The best thing you can do is try to limit him. I think the key thing there is trying to keep him in the pocket, right? When Mahomes scrambles and he's, whether he's rolling to his right, rolling to his left, or scrambling for first downs, that's when he's always killed the 49ers. We've seen it over and over again, right? Mahomes magic is a thing, and you want to try to keep him in the pocket, and that starts with getting pressure on him too. The Niners are doing a good job of getting pressures on the quarterback, especially Nick Bosa. But we talked about this last week after the Seattle game. He's not finishing right now. He has 3 or 3.5 sacks on the season. Givens actually leads the 49ers, I think, with 4 sacks right now. So Bosa's getting there, but he's not finishing the deal. So, with Mahomes, keeping him in the pocket is one thing, but you have to get to him, right? Because the more time you give him, the more susceptible you are to big plays. And then Kelce, who's going to be on Travis Kelce, right? Obviously, there's no Dre Greenlaw still in this game. Devondre Campbell has been very bad in coverage this year as a cover linebacker. I'd be surprised if they have him out there on Kelce, so.
Andy's gonna exploit that, man. You
100%.
guys in the past 2 games, I think you guys giving up a lot of yardage to your to the tight ends. So I think they're gonna put like two tight end or 3 tight end package. You know how Andy uses tight end, so that's definitely probably away from Fred Warner. Just use the other side.
Yeah, this might be a game where they use D Winters more, right? I think they need to start giving him some more snaps because, again, Devondre Campbell's been really bad in coverage. Like, Winters probably can't be any worse, right? So they're gonna have to do different things, and you're not gonna see Fred probably on Kelce a whole lot, right? Because of just how important he is to the defense overall. You can't have him in man-to-man coverage because of everything he does, and then Xavier Worthy obviously presents another problem, right? Because of his speed and big threat, big play ability. So they're going to have a corner on him, but also there's going to be safety help over the top almost all the time because you don't want to get beat on a play like that. So there's going to be a lot of things that the Niners have to worry about, for this. And then we talked about this a million times too. Spags is going to come with a blitz on those third down situations, right? Whether it's 3rd and 5, 3rd and 7. The Niners struggled with this in the Super Bowl, right? Shanahan couldn't do anything to protect against the blitz. And so whether it's having Juszczyk back there to pick up blocks, Isaac Guerrero, JP Mason, whoever it is, and then running guys like Juwan Jennings on slants or Brandon Ayuk on slants, just quick throws that they can get the ball out of Purdy hands very quickly to pick up some of these things. And they know that's got to be coming, right? So, Cooner, what else do you think, I guess, from the defensive side, how are the Niners going to work to keep this Chiefs offense in check? Are you muted?
I think muted.
Oh yeah, sorry. Biggest thing for me is obviously don't give up the big plays, especially to Xavier Worthy, who we know has all-world speed. He's like mini Tyreek if he gets going, right? So, Patrick Mahomes can launch it 60, 70 yards down the field in the blink of an eye. The Niners, like we said earlier on the pod, they're going to be down both starting safeties with Mustafa and Hufanga out. So it's going to be really, really tough for the backups to, basically help over the top, which is going to have to happen a lot in this game because if we know one thing about Andy Reid, he likes to throw it deep on inexperienced safeties and inexperienced corners. So it's going to be imperative that, hopefully we can get Charvarius Ward to play in this game, and Amos and our other safety, I believe Odom
Jair Brown.
or Jair Brown. Yeah, they're gonna have to be super sticky on the coverage on the back end for sure. I have like the utmost like confidence that Diamador Lenore and Charvarius Ward, if they played, they can hold their own. They did in the Super Bowl. It was that back end help that they didn't get help from in the Super Bowl, right? The safeties played
The
really
safety
bad.
help, yeah.
Mhm.
So if that's one thing that Andy Reid does the best is exploit that, and Patrick Mahomes is probably the best quarterback ever to
Yeah.
exploit over the top safety help as much as possible. So, but there is one thing that we do know about Patrick Mahomes is that he will turn the ball over for sure. He's shown it that he's done it this season. He's shown it in the Super Bowls.
Yeah.
Go look up his stats. He's thrown more picks than he has touchdowns in the Super Bowl against the Niners. So you can check that stat. And the Niners have a game plan for him, but they just can't finish against him. And it's because the team just gets worn out with all the the play action passes and all the motions that the Chiefs run. It's really, really tough on a defense to go all 4 quarters and get lucky and actually come up with a win against the Kansas City Chiefs. So I expect a lot of game plan win to this game for sure. They had 10 days to prepare for the Chiefs. After that Seahawks game, I'm pretty sure it was on their mind before the Seahawks game for sure.
Mhm.
They kind of started showing in that fourth quarter against the Seahawks that they were ready to go home. So
yeah, George Kittle was on a Bleacher Report today on the Debo's weekly show, and they were talking about this, and he's like it's always fun playing against the Chiefs, but for those guys especially, because they've been on this team for the past 4 to 5 years. This is their, they've had a handful of meetings. Both of them are winless against the Chiefs, right? And they have plenty of respect for Mahomes and that Chiefs organization, obviously, right? They know it's not like a fluke or anything. But this game means a lot to those veterans, that core group that has been around for a handful of years now, right? So they're definitely coming into this game with not even a chip on their shoulder, like a fat, like their shoulders missing. That's how much they want this game.
Well, this is your Super Bowl, man. It feels like the way they're talking.
Yeah, I mean, look, the Niners are
mental hurdle you talked about. They need this win, not just to get over that block that we can beat that Chiefs.
Yeah, because you come into this game, let's just say the Niners were to come out with a win. Following week against the Cowboys, like that's a game they should win too, and you go into a bye on a 3-game win streak, right? This is obviously looking ahead a little bit, but like this game again will set the precedent for the rest of the season for the 49ers. Obviously off to like a bad start. You go in, you're 3-4. Let's say even if they lose this game, beat the Cowboys 4-4 going to a bye week, is not where anyone expected the Niners to be, right? If they were to drop this game, so it's definitely way more important for them than it is for the Chiefs, because the Chiefs will be fine regardless. And to Sean's question here, can you guys discuss the running back group for the Niners? I think Jordan Mason's going to start if he's healthy for sure. But regardless of that, we're going to see Isaac Guerrero get, I think, a lot more touches than we're used to seeing because they don't want to put too much on Jordan Mason either. And Isaac Guerrero also a very good runner. We saw him last week break out that big 76-yard run at the end of the game to ice it, right? He's proven that he's an effective ball carrier, really great athlete, right? Great 40 speed and everything. So I think regardless, we're going to see him get touches, whether JP Mason plays or not. So that'll be definitely interesting to see. But Harpreet, let's ask you this. We talked about some of the keys for a Niners win. From the Chiefs' perspective, what are the keys for them getting a win in this game? What are you worried about when it comes to the 49ers?
Oh, cut the turnovers. Mahomes need to play a clean game. And I know you guys are afraid of the deep ball, the deep plays, but I think use tight ends and running backs more just to keep the ball away from your offense, So I think those two, in my mind, is the key plays. They just don't turn the ball over and just keep the possession as long as they can. Just have 10, 15 play 7-minute drives. Just eat up the clock. That's going to wear out Nick Bosa, your defense, and all that. So I think that'll be the key rather than going, quick touchdown, bang bang.
Yeah, the Niners have definitely struggled to get off the field this year on third downs, and the last thing you want to do is let the Chiefs wear you down and burn clock, right? Because then you're getting to this point where they're having these long possessions. Defense is going to get tired. And that's the Niners have been doing a really good job this year with controlling the time of the game. I'm pretty sure they're winning possession battles about like maybe like 60 to 40% like every single week.
Yeah.
They're getting these long drives. The only problem is sometimes they're just, most of the time, they're ending in field goals and not touchdowns, right? And again, that's going to be like a key for them.
Yeah. And if it's a close game in fourth quarter, since it's an emotional game for you guys, I feel that you guys will be under more pressure and probably will make more mistakes. Fumble here or just not making key plays, not tackling down, just those small plays that wins you a game. I think the pressure will catch up.
From a coaching perspective, though, Cooner, how important is this game for Shanahan? Because Andy Reid, obviously a great coach. Spags, a great defensive coordinator. They say Kyle Shanahan is a great schemer, but he's not always the best play caller. So how important is it for him and his mental psyche in this game to come out and not only be like playing chess, the whole time while the Chiefs coaching staff is, but also to try to stay a step ahead of the Chiefs coaching staff in this one?
Well, I think for Kyle Shanahan, this is one game that he just can't get flustered. Everyone in the locker room, even when they asked last week after the Seahawks game, was saying this is just going to be another game. It's just another regular season game. We're not playing for a championship. Like, we know what happened in the championship game. So Shanahan he expresses the same sentiment. I think for him, this is just another game that he's been prepping for nearly.
That's bullshit. There's no way. This is not just another game, man.
This is not another game, man.
This is not another. I don't care what he says. Shanahan's a fucking terrible liar.
On their calendar.
Yeah, I mean, he doesn't have a really good poker face, obviously, when he's saying that, right? He has a little twitch in his eye, and like you can kind of see that sparkle, right? When you talk about like his shortcomings, right, as a coach, specifically against the Kansas City Chiefs. I mean, if it wasn't for the Kansas City Chiefs, we're probably looking at a 2-time Super Bowl winning coach. To be honest, right? I don't see any other team other than the Kansas City Chiefs being the ones to come in the Niners' way. So, but from a mental perspective, I think this is going to be huge for Kyle Shanahan if he can get this win on Sunday, because there's a lot of naysayers still out there about him, us included. Like, we doubted him quite a bit after the season ended, and we've even gone on record on saying that this might be his last year if they don't get it done, or if they come up short again against the Kansas City Chiefs. So I think for him, if he can get over this hurdle, if he can get this win, it'll kind of remind me of, and we were really young, but something that I've read into is how the Cowboys used to dominate the Niners in the 90s. And when they went out and got Deion Sanders in 94, that was the year that they ended up beating the Cowboys in the regular season and in the playoffs. So it's just one of those things where if everyone can come together, obviously we're going to be missing a bunch of guys, but I feel like we still have all the experienced dudes that have, that huge chip on their shoulder, all the emotional, a heartbreak and all that, mixed together, that they can come out and give a good performance, Kyle Shanahan included. He knows what the game is going to mean to them. So I think he'll have a good game plan. I think he's going to try to execute as best as possible, but it's going to be really hard to beat Steve Spagnuolo and that defense.
Yeah, I think like you said, it's going to be more of like a defensive game for sure. The team that takes care of the ball better, team that limits the big plays, is probably going to be the team that ends up coming out on top at the end. And this is probably going to be another game that comes down to the wire. It's going to be nerve-wracking. It's going to feel like, for the Chiefs, it's going to be another game. For Niner fans, it's going to feel like the fucking Super Bowl again if it's a tight fourth quarter, even though it's only week 7 of the season. This game it's huge for us, man. It really is. I don't think that can be overstated enough. Like, the Niners really, really need this game. I think it's a type of game that can really make or break their season. You get a win, you're fucking hyped. You just beat the defending Super Bowl champ, the team that has beaten you over and over again. And now if we get back to that point where we're playing in Super Bowl this season, that we are capable of beating the Chiefs. And if they get this win, don't forget, they're doing it without Christian McCaffrey on the field. They're doing it without Dre Greenlaw on the field, right? Missing multiple starters on their defense, right? Yeah. So, like, that's a big thing too, is like, hey, we can, if we just beat this team without being 100% healthy, imagine when we have all of our guys there, right? It's going to be a big thing for them. So
it's not like we have Pro Bowlers on our wide receiver roster. So we have a bunch of injuries, running backs are out, wide receivers are out. So I don't want to hear any excuses from Niner fans. So
Well, I
it
guess
seems like
we'll see.
you guys are preparing up for those excuses on Monday morning. Hey,
You got to
well,
remember, it's
we
it's
didn't
not
have any.
it's not the Niners versus the Chiefs. It's the Niners versus the Chiefs and the refs, right? So like we got to see what the calls are like on
Here we
Sunday
go
at
with the
1:30.
refs. So that's all right. Here we go with the refs. I see the excuses, man. I already see what it's gonna be.
Yo, if I don't see one holding call against the Chiefs this Sunday,
Yeah.
I'm gonna be fucking heated, bro.
I
I swear,
know.
we're gonna throw hands.
You know what? You know what I'm gonna watch for? I'm gonna watch for the roughing the passer on Chris Jones.
Hey, over under 2.5 holding calls on the Chiefs offensive line.
I'll go negative 3,000.
Oh man, let's see if Purdy shows up, man. I think you guys he plays really play action games, so we need
Purdy's
to.
balling this season, man. I mean,
Yeah.
He plays
playing.
Yeah,
He's I think the only two quarterbacks in the league right now that are playing better than Purdy are probably Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen. I think those are the only two guys probably playing better than him right now.
I don't put Josh Allen in there, man. Come on.
Josh Allen's been playing well, and he's doing that. Remember, like his best receiver so far has been Khalil Shakur. Now they obviously got Amari Cooper today, which is huge for them, right? But
yeah,
he's been really carrying that team.
No picks.
Yeah, no picks in that game
that was
yesterday.
a clean game.
3 total touchdowns. Hopefully there's not as many calls in the Niners Chiefs game as there was in that Jets and Bills game because that was ugly. It was bad.
Hey, who's the ref? Who's the head ref this time?
It's the same one from the Super Bowl, Bill Vinovich.
Oh, is it?
As long as
here we go.
As long as it's not Carl Sheffers. Oh no, I already see excuses, man. We want clean game too. I don't want to hear any excuses from anybody. I
hope there's no controversial calls.
I don't want any DPI or anything. Clean game. That's what we all hope for. So
that's what we're hoping for too, man. You know, let's we want a clean game. Obviously, no injuries, nothing.
Yeah.
You know, obviously we want the 49ers to come away with a win. You know, I got to be honest. I keep my hopes low with this team, especially this year. So I'm not going to say I'm expecting a win. All I'm saying is I'm hoping for a win. Yeah. I want this team to come out and compete. I'm hoping that they play hard all 48 minutes, you know. Over under how many times they show Taylor Swift on the screen. I'm going to say at least. All right, let's go over under 3.5. What do you guys think?
She's not going to be there, man. She's not going to be there.
She's not going to be there? You don't think?
I already got the text. So
you did?
She's not coming.
He probably has the concert that day.
Oh man.
All right, what about Eamon's question here? How confident are we that Brandon Ayuk is going to show up in this game? Ayuk has been up and down, obviously, this season. First 2 games struggled, had the big breakout game against the Cardinals, right? It was. And last game, quiet again. It's tough to say. I'm pretty sure Trent McDuffie is going to be on Ayuk in this one. And McDuffie is among the best in the league. So
Ayuk's not showing up, man. So forget about him.
We'll see.
It might be Juwan Jennings or.
I don't care if it's Jennings, Kittle, Pearsall, Debo, whoever, man. As long as at the end of the game the Niners have at least one more point than the Chiefs, then it's fine with me. Debo's good.
Oh.
Yeah, Debo's good. Don't worry. He'll be in there dogging it. Don't worry.
There you go. more screenplays, just thinking dunk Purdy, huh?
Hey, it's funny you say that because right now in the NFL, you know which quarterback has the least amount of yards from Yak? It is Brock Purdy. And you know which quarterback has the most amount of passing yards from Yak? It is Patrick Mahomes. So, you know, you better watch your dink and dunk quarterback over there in Kansas City, getting all these yards after the catch because Purdy's, I think, one of the league leaders in yards per attempt and yards per completion right now. So, like I said, only a couple guys that are playing better than him right now. You know, Purdy's definitely been taking his game to another level this year. Definitely room for improvement as always, but I think the Niners, if not for the way Purdy's playing, would be probably a sub 500 team right now.
Well, you guys have Pro Bowler pretty much everywhere, you know, linebackers, cornerback, defensive end, tight ends. You got Pro Bowlers everywhere. So
what does that have to do with Purdy's success?
That's Purdy's success, man. He got wide receiver, Debo, Pro Bowler.
You know, Christian McCaffrey hasn't played this whole season. You know, George Kittle missed the game. Debo Samuel missed the game.
That's why you guys are 3-4 because Purdy don't have his playmakers.
If it wasn't for Purdy, we'd be 0-6 right now.
For
Yeah,
sure.
hey, at least something. I'm not counting out the guy. I mean, he's definitely talented. He's a good story, man. 7th round, but he need his guys, man.
No, of course. I mean, and you can make the case, right? We talk about Mahomes, why he's not playing as well this season. It's because he doesn't have the weapons around him like we're used to seeing, right? I mean, 6 touchdowns, 6 interceptions for him. Obviously, Rashee Rice going down has been tough. Travis Kelce didn't play well the first couple of games of the season too.
I think
Finally,
Mahomes,
last couple of weeks,
Yeah, I think Mahomes, he's just not seeing the field correctly. He's missing throws. He's not hitting the receivers on time.
Yeah, and we're not used to seeing him make mistakes like this. Having 2 interception games here and there.
Yeah.
And it's not like these are just bad throws that are sometimes going off a receiver's hand and then just picked off. Like he's making some bad reads. So it's like any play. Look, and Mahomes is one of those guys that makes players around him better. That's 100% true. But anytime you have talent around you, it's going to be easier to put up bigger numbers. And so Mumphrey thinks the Super Bowl fatigue is finally kicking in for the Chiefs. I don't know, bro. They're 5-0, so I can't really talk shit. You know what I mean? Mahomes, it doesn't matter what he does right now because come playoffs, we know what he does.
That's the only thing that matters. So I'm pretty confident they will turn it up again. So I don't think we'll go 19-0, but certainly can hope for.
Here's a good question from my boy Sean. Does Brock enter the MVP conversation if he beats Mahomes? Mahomes seems to be favorite for MVP right now. I don't know if I would say Mahomes is the MVP favorite right now just because his numbers don't back that up. I think when you look at what a guy like Lamar is doing, having turned around things in Baltimore the last few weeks, obviously having Derrick Henry in the offense is a big boost for them. But Lamar has been playing well on their recent win streak. Josh Allen obviously has been playing well too. But for Brock, if they win this game, and let's say they go on they should win the division, right? If this team goes 12-5 and Purdy has like a pretty good season, there's a chance he's in that MVP conversation because he was in there last year, right? I think he was a top 5 MVP finisher last season. And this year he's already playing on a better level, like we said, than he was last year. We've seen all the scrambling he's been doing, getting out of the pocket, making throws on the run, making plays with his legs. So what do you think, Cooner? Could he enter the MVP conversation, and how big would this win be for him?
Oh yeah, this win would be huge for his case to be MVP, especially if he performs well and doesn't turn the ball over. We've been kind of saying it, dating back to last season that Brock Purdy is the MVP of our team, even though Christian McCaffrey is our best player. And the reason why is because he makes all the right reads. He doesn't turn the ball over in dire situations. He shows up when it matters the most, from what we've already seen in his short career. So this would definitely bolster his odds to win MVP. Will he win it? I don't think so. I think there's so many talented quarterbacks in the NFL. And you already mentioned Josh Allen, obviously Lamar Jackson, even Jaden Daniels could be in that conversation as well as a rookie.
Should be.
He's been playing super well, and nobody expected the Redskins to be leading their division, this early in the season. So, I expect big things from Brock this weekend and for the rest of the season. He's going to have to ball out because, there's so much uncertainty with Christian McCaffrey and his return. Obviously, the defense has been up and down. So he has to be nearly flawless in this game for them to win.
100%. I mean, it's tough because games that have been already in the past now, like they don't matter. But like if the Niners had closed out these games against the Rams and the Cardinals, you're talking about them coming in right now 5-1. And then maybe Purdy is the MVP favorite right now, right? With a 5-1 record, doing that without Christian McCaffrey, but obviously that's not the case. They're 3-3 at this point. That's the reality of it. But what he does from here on out, especially while the reigning offensive player of the year is out, is going to be big for him and also this team's success, right? If Purdy continues to play the way he is, they're always going to be in games, but the key thing for them is going to be this defense, right? If this defense can really get back to the Niners defense that we're used to seeing, that's going to be the big thing for their long-term success this season as they continue to get healthy and get their guys back. So, 5-1, like Sean's saying here, for him having the passer rating, he's been doing really good this year. So we'll see if Purdy can keep it going. mentioned the Chiefs are 5-0 coming into this game. The Niners are 3-3. Harpreet, you're 0-6 on our fantasy league. Sorry, I had to throw that in there.
Well, you don't
Last
have to
place
put
in our
that out
fantasy
there,
league.
man.
I had to throw that in one time.
You
I
don't
can't
have
be
to
like,
put
yeah,
that
all
out
shit
there,
talking.
man. Well, thank you. You don't have to put that out there, man. No, dude,
I can't let you get all the dubs, man. Your team's already winning. You guys
Yeah.
are the reigning Super Bowl champs. You know, like I can't let you get all of it, bro. Come on.
As long as Chiefs winning, man, I'm okay to go 0-17 if I have to. So. No, I think it's gonna be a good game, dude. Purdy's a smart quarterback, so we definitely gotta. I'm pretty sure Spags already have a game plan for him. So let's see the play action game. That's what worries me. So let's see.
Yeah, we'll see what the Niners got for the Chiefs on Sunday. I see you guys talking shit in the comments. Look, I am 1-5 in one of my leagues, but in this league I'm 5-1. I'm in second place. So Mumphrey, you can't be talking shit to me, all right, bro? Because I'm ahead of you in the standings right now too. Don't forget our little side bet we got going on, all right? Don't think I didn't forget about that.
Oh man.
All right, but Harpreet, thank you so much for joining us this week, man. Like I said, you are a brother to us, for sure. But fuck the Chiefs, fuck Mahomes, Kelsey, Taylor Swift, all of them. I hope the Niners come out and finally get a dub against you guys. And
yeah, Hey, thanks for having me over. So if you need shoulder on Monday to cry on, so come on over, man. I'm right here. You got my address.
hopefully they're tears of joy. Let's just say that.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you to everyone for tuning in, for all the comments. We'll be here next week on Tuesday night, hopefully to discuss a 49ers win. And if it's another loss, well, it was nice knowing you guys, and this will probably be the last episode.
Yeah. Let's.
All right, we'll catch you guys next week. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, thank you guys.